You never ever thought that how on earth does that tough bark become this soft and paper-thin tissue? Dude, this video is full of surprises then. When it comes to making tissue paper, not just any tree will do. For good quality tissue papers, they need to rely on softwood and a little hardwood trees, but majorly eucalyptus, pine, and spruce, because it's all about the fibers. These trees grow in managed plantations, and an eucalyptus tree can be ready for harvest in just 7 years, compared to pines, which take around 20 to 30 years. These machines can grab, cut, and stack a tree in seconds, making the process incredibly fast. Once the logs arrive at the pulp mill, they immediately get debarking and chipping, which means the very first step is removing the bark. These machines reduce entire logs into tiny uniform wood chips in seconds. Now the wood chips are fed into a massive pressurized tank called a digester, where they are cooked in a cocktail of chemicals, mainly sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfide. This mix is known as the craft process, and its job is to dissolve lignin, the natural glue that holds wood fibers together. Once the pulp is freed from the wood chips, it needs to be washed and bleached to remove any leftover lignin and give it that bright, clean look, so that dull brown color changes into the white mesh. What's actually happening inside? Each fiber is being gently pulled apart, shortened, and fluffed up. Before this soupy, fiber-rich mixture can become the soft tissue we use every day, it needs to go through an in-depth transformation. It all comes down to refining, a process that carefully breaks down and reshapes the fibers to create the perfect balance of softness, strength, and absorbency. This makes the tissue feel softer, more flexible, and, just as importantly, more absorbent. At this point, it's still about 99% water and only 1% fiber, which means it has to go through a serious drying process. As the pulp spreads out on the mesh, water immediately starts draining through the tiny holes, leaving behind a thin, even layer of wet fibers. If the fibers aren't evenly distributed, the final tissue will have weak spots or tear too easily. This is where the last bits of moisture rapidly evaporate, taking the tissue from a wet, flimsy sheet to a dry, structured one. One step that is performed at this stage is called perforation. It is what creates the tear-off sections you see on toilet paper and paper towels. The jumbo rolls arrive at the converting factory, where they're rolled onto the processing line to cut them into easy-to-drag bundles. These tissue rolls also pass through a set of engraved metal rollers, which press a pattern into the layers. Embossing actually helps trap air between the layers, making the tissue feel thicker and softer without adding extra material. This is how some brands create ultra-soft tissue without making the rolls physically bigger. Here, they get ready for the factory packaging, and these bundles will be transformed into stacked bundles that are actually pretty practical for monthly usage. Now that the tissue is perforated and embossed, it needs to be rolled back up into log rolls, which is a common version of a regular toilet paper roll, just a few meters long. The rewinding machine tightly winds the tissue sheets around a cardboard core. This core is what gives the roll structure and keeps it from collapsing when used. Some brands skip the core entirely, creating coreless toilet paper rolls that can hold more sheets in the same space. These are common in commercial and eco-friendly products, reducing waste from empty cardboard tubes. Not all tissue rolls are created equal. Ever wondered why some toilet paper feels super soft and fluffy, while others feel rough and cheap? It's all about fiber selection. Premium toilet paper uses longer, higher quality fibers, often from eucalyptus trees, because their fibers are naturally soft and strong. While cheaper toilet paper uses a mix of recycled fibers, which are shorter and don't bind as well, making the tissue feel rougher. Unlike tissue rolls, which are tightly wound and perforated, tissue sheets go through a different process to become facial tissues, napkins, or handkerchiefs. These products need to be soft, neatly folded, and easy to pull out one at a time. Gingerbread. Just the word alone is enough to get us dreaming of cozy winter nights, the scent of warm spices filling the air, and the sparkle of Christmas decorations all around. But what happens when we take a step back and think about how this most awaited festive treat is made on a grand scale? Let us show you around some inside scenes from a gingerbread house factory. Yup, its factory does exist. So far, you've seen the gingerbread dough mixture being prepped, and I don't need to tell you that we're not dealing with small bags or little jars here. We're talking about tons of flour, buckets of molasses, and huge vats of butter. Thickness is everything in gingerbread manufacturing. Too thin, and the pieces become fragile, prone to breaking. Too thick, and the structural integrity of the final gingerbread house becomes compromised. So let these machines take care of shaping here. They're designed to perfectly shape each part of the gingerbread house, the walls, roof, and maybe even those little windows and doors you can decorate. Baking the dough immediately is also an important step in making sure the gingerbread comes out of the oven perfectly crispy and shaped and just right. And no one wants a gingerbread blob instead of a house, right? So these ovens are designed to bake the dough evenly with the perfect balance of heat and timing. Remember how that dough was once a soft, squishy mass, and now it's hardening and taking form. About these cookies. So, this is the official season for stars, snowflakes, reindeer, and gingerbread men. Those cutters must be really sharp and precise, as we can see how beautifully these cookies come out. Ah, good question. Not all Christmas cookies are made from gingerbread material, but many of the classic holiday shapes, like gingerbread men and houses, are, in fact, made from gingerbread dough. People bake them in all sorts of fun shapes, decorate them with icing, and share them with friends and family. Now the thing that's going to hold this gingerbread house together and make it look so much cooler than it would without it is the royal icing. Yeah, it's named royal for a reason. It's sweet, sticky, and essential for building a gingerbread masterpiece. This stuff is the sweet and sturdy glue that holds it all together, literally. People often bake batches to give as gifts, and this is a perfectly time-saving way of spreading happiness. Hey, did your gingerbread house ever look completed without those colorful, shiny Skittles on them? I bet no. Don't worry, these Skittles are all set to change the game. Marshmallows are those fluffy little bites of sweetness that melt in your mouth and are perfect for decorating your gingerbread house, or just snacking on as you build it. Let's talk about something that adds a pop of color and fun to any gingerbread house: mixed colorful cake sprinkles. These little bits of sweetness might seem simple, but they're the finishing touch that makes your holiday creations truly come to life. And we're here to see how those factories make them on massive scales. Instead of cutting into small pieces, sprinkles are made using an extruder machine. At this stage, the sprinkles are placed in rotating drums, and edible food-safe dyes are added. The drums rotate to evenly coat the sprinkles with color, giving them their vibrant look. They're all set to get packed and sealed, so we can utilize them while decorating our most beloved gingerbread house. After all, it's Christmas. Now those lovely and vibrant candy canes are gonna come to life. Yes, it's true. Candy canes, those iconic, curved, striped candies that scream Christmas, are a fun and essential part of holiday decorating, especially when it comes to gingerbread houses. Once the syrup is ready, it's divided into separate batches for coloring and, of course, proper kneading. The candy is stretched out into long ropes, and as the ropes become longer and thinner, they're twisted together to form the red and white stripe pattern. Their slender shape, sweet chocolate coating, and versatility make them ideal for adding decorative details to a gingerbread house. Yes, we're talking about the Pocky sticks. Those crunchy long sticks are just perfect to give the finishing look to gingerbread roofs and windows, don't you think? These tiny snail-shaped gummies aren't just for snacking. They make the perfect, colorful decorations that'll turn your gingerbread house into a sugary work of art. Here's how these adorable candies are made from start to finish, with each twist and turn in the process, designed to make them soft, chewy, and ready to stick onto your holiday masterpiece. These molds are custom designed to give each gummy its signature spiral shell and soft, curved body. To give these gummies that satisfying chewy bite, and to prevent them from sticking to each other, they're often coated with a fine layer of cornstarch or powdered sugar. This helps keep the gummies separated. The bright, sweet candies that make everything just a little bit more festive, especially when they're used to decorate those gorgeous Christmas gingerbread houses. So, how do these vibrant treats go from being a simple sugar mixture to the perfect candy decoration for a holiday house? We're gonna break it down, but I want you to stay with me, as it's really gonna be amazing, and I don't want you to regret it later. I would really appreciate you watching the video till the end, because there are more surprises coming ahead, and all I want is you to enjoy some fun time because it's holiday season.
Let me show you how those famous fancy donuts at shops are prepared in bulk. Once the large spiral mixers have prepared a fine donut dough, it's laid on conveyor belts and transformed into a sheet with the help of rollers. And you know what's interesting? Just like a human chef, these machines treat the dough by dusting it with dry flour to prevent sticking. As you can see, the dough for donuts is a bit thick, so with the help of drum rollers, it will be made thinner. And any excess flour will be brushed off with brush rollers. The desired dough sheet moves forward while donut shape cutters start creating the donut shapes. Don't worry, the donut party is just getting started. Whoever opened the first Krispy Kreme, all I know is the world's been a sweeter place ever since. As we approach the further processing of donuts, these machines skillfully remove the dough around the donut holes and set it aside. This used to be a particularly tedious job, but thanks to these removing clippers, the donut holes are easily extracted and collected on the side as extras. Once the donuts are cleared of their holes, the dough moves on to the next conveyor belts where the donuts are separated from the excess dough. This process ensures the donuts continue moving forward while the extra dough is directed into containers below. While this may seem easy to observe, it's all dependent on the precision of these machines. The prepared donuts are then moved forward on belts to maintain uniformity. The goal of this donut line automation is not just to increase quantity, but also to ensure precision and uniformity in shapes, designs, and multiple operations. These belts will slowly and skillfully move the donuts to the settlers, where they are sent to the proofing section. Proofing means giving the dough enough time to rise to a specific consistency, which makes the donuts soft and fluffy. Now, we will fry it until both sides turn brown. The fryer and its timing are designed in such a way that the donuts are cooked evenly and thoroughly from the time they are put in the fryer until they are taken out. Also, with the help of reverse belts, their sides are changed, right in time, so they can be cooked perfectly. As the donuts are frying, they are slowly taken out of the fryer with sieves and put on the next conveyor belt. They will reach the corrector tools while spinning. Here, the donuts are gathered and sent forward in a certain way, so that all the donuts stay in a proper uniform way. All these donuts are adjusted in the cooling plates and have reached there to settle for a while. After that, all these donuts are lined up and sent forward. Donuts are brought exactly under the nozzles so that they can be filled well. You can see these injectors with yellow pipe. They have filling paste in them. These are the filled donuts. Now let's go to these donuts that are ready to dip in the chocolate pool. Now look at how all these donuts are passed over the chocolate pool, where they apply hot and melted chocolate on one side of the donuts. The machines are designed in such a systematic way that after applying the chocolate, the donuts will fall straight on the moving belts and there will be no mess. After that, all these chocolate-covered donuts are passed straight through the white glazing chamber, where they automatically put white lines on the donuts. You can see that this whole work takes less than a second, and they can design 3 to 4 donuts easily in a second, while a human would need 30 seconds to design a donut in this simple way. Now, they add toppings like crushed chocolate or nuts on the chocolate donuts, whatever you prefer, with the help of the shredder depositor. Now, let's go to the most eaten glazed donuts. Their glazing is made with top-quality ingredients, and you can see the glazing waterfall falling from a thin extruder. The glazing keeps falling continuously, and the donut army passes under it and gets covered with the glazing waterfall. The extra glazing falls down with the help of sieves. These shiny glazed donuts dry before reaching the packaging station and create a crispy layer outside and very soft donuts inside, so that when you eat them, they explode with flavor in your mouth. Now, let's go to those who like coating donuts besides chocolate or sugar glazing. You can see how beautifully the glazed and coated donuts army is moving so that they can reach the sprinkles station and get the final finishing touch. All the donuts will be filled with sprinkles, just the way you like them, and any extra sprinkles that fall down will be added back to the containers by these conveyor belts, and the clean donuts will pass through the sieve roller and shift to the next belt. Whatever topping you like, these machines sprinkle them very well on the donuts. Here are your favorite chocolate-sprinkled donuts, sealed and packed after passing through the packaging station, so that you can enjoy fresh and tasty donuts easily. Are we forgetting something while talking about donuts? Here, the real fun will start when these filled donuts will lift your mood. First of all, these machines make the dough of your favorite filled donuts and give them a nice shape. Then, the dough balls are dropped into the molds below, which shake them and make them into a proper round shape. These machines are very useful because they give the desired shape to the filled donuts. Now look at how all these ready-made donuts are put in the fryer in long lines. The fryer is also automatic. It detects when a donut is cooked from one side and changes its side. Then, a person's duty is to set the donuts in a line, because they are going to the injectors, where the cream in the nozzles is injected into the donuts. Now they dip the donuts in chocolate from one side, and the best thing is that all these tasks are automated, which gives the owners a chance to benefit from the setup for many years and keep fewer employees. All these donuts pass through different gears like belts after dipping in chocolate, so that they can fall straight on the belt and packing can be easy.